great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of disease.
Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. My name is Jim Hacking. This is the Immigration Show Happy New Year edition, episode number 736 of the Immigration Answer Show. How is everybody doing? Let us know in the comments how you been. How was 2024? Are you glad to see it gone? Are you excited about 2025? Look at all of our favorite people are here. I'm going to say hi to everyone in just a minute. Here's the link to the waiting room. All right. I was in the office today making some videos. I had a long walk with a friend of mine today. I went to the gym. Nor and I had lunch. Then I came here to make some videos. I'm going to be traveling the next couple of weeks. So I just shot not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, but 6 new videos. I can even share with you the titles. Should I pay for advanced parole? I just got my green card through marriage. Should I travel? USCIS approved my I-130, but still no green card. Number 4, Trump's plans for green card interviews. Number 5, how to lose your citizenship in 2025. And number 6, will immigration slow down in 2025? That was an easy one. All right. What'd you guys do last night? Anybody do anything fun? Would you believe this old man was asleep by 9:30? I started watching a great old movie called The Apartment. It's my mom's favorite movie. It stars Jack Lemmon. No, Hina, I'm cool. We're good. You're good, Hina. Just chillax. It's your last day off before our office reopens tomorrow. January 2nd, Hacking Immigration Law will be back in business. But I won't be here. I'm going to New York. I'm going to New York with Nornator. We're going to see The Outsiders on Broadway tomorrow. Then on Friday, we're going to drive up to Syracuse because she has a camp at a softball camp at Syracuse University. So I have to finish The Apartment. I'll probably watch it on the plane tomorrow. And Nor and I are watching Denzel movies. We've been watching Denzel movies while Amani and the boys were in Egypt. So they're on their way back now. Amani, Yusuf, Ismail, and Ibrahim are taking a little nap because in about 2 hours they have to get up and go to the airport. They basically are flying all night back to the United States. So to Kelna Allah, hopefully they have a safe trip. Hopefully Nor and I have our safe trip. We're excited. And then next week, I don't know when I'm going to do my shows because I'll be in the Dominican Republic. So lots of craziness, lots of travel. I'm one of these people, when I'm traveling, I wish I was at home. And when I'm at home, I wish I was traveling. So there you go. All right. So I haven't heard much about what people did last night. Nurse Laura watched Wolves. Jamal went to bed because he was sleepy. Happy New Year from Lynn. Lindy is here. Hina says, same year, new year, same world problems. Let's see. Nurse Laura said she turned off Squid Games. Amani's watching season 2 of Squid Games. I didn't see season 1, but I think I would like it. Jashinker says hi. Omatoyo's here. Shauna's wishing good wishes. Michael's glad that 2024 is gone. MDDS likes the beard. Happy New Year from Junie. Michael also says Happy New Year. Isha says Happy New Year. Natasha Express is wishing me and everybody else Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all the Yardies. And Happy New Year to all of you. Christine is here. Marla's here. Maria Grazia is here. Traylene is here. MDDS in Qatar. Nurse Laura was sending greetings. Shauna was sending greetings. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Now, remember, in 2025 and probably for the next 4 years, we're doing things differently. We're not going to have people on camera. We're not going to have people use their full names. If you use a alias, that's probably better. I'm going to put if you need to get a hold of us, you can call us there, 314-961-8200, or email. So I'm going to call people up who are off camera. I know that's different than what we did before. We don't want to get anybody in trouble in Trumplandia. Jamal is going to go first. Hello, Jamal.
Hello, how are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Just hanging in there. After that, had the craziness that was last night in Thailand.
Yeah. How are you doing? How is Thailand?
Thailand is a crazy nightlife. It's a crazy scene. It's like the way that Thailand is. I would say it's close to Nigeria in terms of the insanity with the nightlife scene, and literally the cars just don't stop over here. It's not like in the States where they close by a certain time.
One of our favorite team members, Patima, is originally from Thailand, so I really want to go there.
Man, you've got to go. But wife's actually begging us to go back to Thailand after this year. Unfortunately, I had to return back after this week. I had to return back for work and all that. So
sure, that pesky thing called work, how we make our money. Yes, it all starts back up for tomorrow.
Man. So I had my question was regarding so we're actually now we are married now, and my question was this was regarding some schooling. She wanted to go back to school, but she didn't know where to go to. Is she able to do, because we're married? I'm trying to understand this correctly. Is she able to do an F1 student visa in the States, or does she have to go to a different country to do it?
And you filed an I-130 already?
I haven't filed one yet.
I believe that if an F1 visa applicant puts that they have a spouse in the United States, that F1 visa application will be denied.
Okay.
And obviously she has to list her spouse, because otherwise that would screw things up later, and you always have to tell the truth. But yeah, they're not in the business of giving non-immigrant student visas to people who are married to U.S. citizens, because they think they're just coming to be with their husband or their wife.
Oh man, that is definitely good to know. So it sounds like she's better off.
It's not. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying it'd be very unlikely that it gets approved. And even if it gets approved, it could cause problems, because they might say that she didn't tell them that she was married to a U.S. citizen.
Oh, that's good to know. So it sounds like she's better off going to school in either a different country, or better yet, just going online and doing it.
That's what I would do. Thanks, Jamal. Safe travels back, bud.
You're welcome.
Happy New Year. Heena's asking if anyone has any cool New Year traditions. Now, Nora spent the night over at her friend's house, and the mom is from Venezuela. They each ate 12 grapes and made wishes with their 12 grapes. I thought that was pretty interesting. They also played poker. Nora learned how to play poker last night, so that's fun. Abdul says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. And Happy New Year to my BFF, BDS. Hi, Brent. All right, let's go to Love. Let's start with Love. Hey, Love.
Oh my God, Jim. I'm so nervous to talk to you.
Don't be nervous. Pretend you're talking to an old friend.
I have seen you on YouTube, and I see you sometimes being like a little upset with other people. I'm like, oh my God, I hope that will not be me.
Oh, I'm not going to get mad. Go ahead. Go. I will promise not to get mad. Go right ahead. What you got?
I have a lot of things to say. My heart is pounding right now. But first of all, Happy New Year to you and everybody else who's watching and not watching. I really want to actually talk to a lawyer one-on-one, because my situation is a little complicated, and I have a lot of personal things that I don't want to share online. But however, I talked to your office, and they said, oh, you have to do it online. But I thought I'd just talk to you in person. But I have quick questions for today. Is my mom, I have not seen her in like more than 17 years. And today she has her interview back home for for US visa. And I'm so nervous. I don't even know what to advise her. I try to prep her. She doesn't speak English. And in a few hours, I will know what the decision is going to be. But do you have any suggestion for me at all?
I wouldn't stress this at all. I think that 95% of the time, or 90% of the time, the decision is made before the person walks into the embassy. So I don't think there's much that your mom can do to screw it up or to get it approved. I think it is what it is, right? So the question is going to be, and this is for an I-130 that you filed for her.
No, it's just her tourist visa. It's not even I-130. That's
Oh.
another story.
Well, okay. So then the question is, what does she have to prove she's going to come back home?
My dad is gonna be staying back home because we thought that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because last time when I was graduating, they denied, and I was so upset. I was graduating. After that, we decided, you know what, let's just do one thing because I really want to see my mom. I have not seen them for so long because of COVID and so many other reasons. My dad wasn't feeling well. I wasn't feeling well because I was in this really bad situation in terms of my personal life. So then we decided, let's just wait and just do this way. Maybe it will help to show them like, hey, my mom is not going to stay here. But I have never traveled back home for so many valid reasons. One of my reasons was I was in a domestic violence situation for a very, very long time.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and then and anyway, I'm just hoping that she'll get a visa today, but we'll see what happens.
I don't mean to be harsh, but I wouldn't get my hopes up. Does she have a job?
She doesn't have a job right now.
Are you a U.S. citizen, or could you be one soon?
I'm not. I'm not a U.S. citizen because I came here as a student and I graduated. I got my bachelor's degree. I got my master's degree. Even though I was going through a lot, I made sure I was studying. And I was doing my PhD in information technology. I could not complete that. I had to take a medical leave about 2 years ago because of whatever I was going through. It took a toll on me. So I was never able to go back home because of one of that reasons. That's the main reason. But that's what the situation is like right now.
So, if they ask about who are you going to see, she's going to say my daughter who's out of status.
I'm not out of status. I'm on TPS.
So that's out of status as far as the State Department's concerned.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're on, hold on. If you're on TPS, then that means that your mom is probably from a country that would maybe be eligible for asylum if she were to come to the United States. So I think given the fact that you're here on TPS, the fact that she was denied before, and the fact she doesn't have a job, I'll be very surprised, happily surprised, if you call me back tomorrow and tell me that she got her visa, but I don't think she's going to get a visit visa.
Yeah. And you said the reason because she doesn't have a job and
she doesn't have a job. You're here basically on TPS, which is almost no status at all. And I think that for those reasons, with you being here in the United States for so long, with you just having TPS as your status, and I know this isn't what happened, but not leaving at the end of your F1 studies, you know, in their book, that's what you did. So I think I'll be shocked if she gets her visit visa.
Okay. Can I say one more thing?
Of course.
I was on my F1 status till I think it was like May 2023. So I gave up my F1 status after a very long time when I had to focus on my health.
Sure.
I'm planning on going back to school because I do want to get a degree in information technology and just try to forget what happened in the past and get a degree. So I'm planning on reinstating. I hope that my reasons, maybe it will be enough for me to reinstate. What do you think about that?
I think as a lawyer, I should know whether TPS can be a bridge between periods of F1 status. I don't think that off the top of my head, I don't think you can go back from TPS to F1. I don't think you can, but I could be wrong.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I did talk to a DHO, and she said, you can do it. So I don't know it's gonna get approved or not, but they said you have to have an I-20 first, and
That
after
would
that, yeah.
you would need an I-21st. Good luck, love. Keep us posted, okay? Thanks for the call.
Thank you. Bye.
Yep, see ya. All right. T1. Oh, T1 is here. Hello, T1.
Hey, Jim. Happy New Year to you, your family, and the team at Hacking Immigration Law.
Thanks so much.
I had a question. This is for a friend. She's a Canadian citizen currently here on a TN visa, and she got married to a US citizen and applied for, I think, I-130 adjustment of status and whatnot. Think she applied for all of that end of October, and 2 days ago, or sorry, yesterday, she got notified that her EAD, the work permit I-765, got approved,
Great.
but she forgot to apply for the travel permit, the
Yep.
advance parole.
Oh, yep.
Question is, uh, currently, what is the processing timeline for I-130? And is my understanding correct that only once the I-130, the underlying 485 will get approved?
The 485 cannot be approved without the I-130 being approved.
Okay.
What was the receipt date on the I-130 and the 485?
I think end of October 25th or 27th or something.
So it's only been on file for like 2 months.
Yeah. And I was amazed that she even got her EAD, approval so soon. So
Yeah, some things are happening fast. Well, what's the question for me?
So the question is, what is the approximate timeline for the I-130 approval as of now?
Well, as of right now, it's about 9 months. Some cases, you'll have outliers, but if I did a bell curve, I would say 8 or 9 months.
Okay.
Is the average.
Mhm.
I think that'll slow down a little bit after Trump.
Okay.
So, maybe a year.
Okay. And also another question was, so the EAD card is on its way, which means she's already completed biometrics for the 485.
Yeah.
But since she did not apply for I-130, she has a valid TN visa stamp in her passport.
Wait, she didn't file for an I-130 or an I-131, you mean?
I-131, sorry, my bad.
That's okay.
Right. So can she still travel to Canada to be with her parents in case of an emergency, or will her 485 get voided once she leaves the country and comes back, just for the reason that she didn't apply for the travel permit?
The latter. Yes, it'll get void. If you leave the United States, now some people say that H-1Bs, you don't have to file for advanced parole, but for a TN, you definitely do. So if your friend leaves the United States, a TN is a non-immigrant visa. If they leave the United States, they've then demonstrated immigrant intent. They would not be able to come back. Their green card case would be deemed abandoned. They would lose their filing fee. They would lose their place in line, and they'd probably have to consular process, which would suck because you're talking about Montreal, which is slow as shit. So I would either. So I just said the first video that I did today when I was in the office was, should I spend the money on advanced parole? And I said there's sort of two groups of people that should not. And those are people who we think it's going to go really fast and know they have no reason to go back home, like they don't have any family back home, or if they've been out of status for a really long time, because I wouldn't want them to leave till they get their green card. So at that, I would say either go ahead and apply for advanced parole now, or just wait for the green card and don't go till then.
Yeah, I was kind of pushing her to apply for it, but she was like, "Yeah, I'll think about it. Let's see." So
yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people, especially given her EAD went so fast. There are a lot of people right now who are getting their green card and paid for advanced parole and never received it. And then, of course, once you have your green card, you don't need it. So it's really sort of silly.
Okay. And does it matter that? And so she just got married, I think, beginning of October this year. Does it matter that she's been married for less than 2 years? It might take more time for the green card adjudication or the 485 adjudication.
No, I don't think any of that.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, T1. See you, buddy.
Cheers. Bye.
Yep. Happy New Year. Diana has a nice little note. Happy New Year to the best immigration law firm. My husband Frank and I love you. We are very grateful. You are the best, Jim. Thank you, Diana. Gotta love little compliments to start off the year. How about that? All right. Let's go to Dovane. Nope, Dovane's gone. All right, Mike, if you turn off your camera, I'll pull you up. Here comes Mike. Hi, Mike.
Hey, how are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Awesome. Happy New Year. And I have a question. I did talk to you like a couple of weeks back, and just one question popped up, and that is regarding 221G. And I was wondering, it's been like 2 weeks. They have received the paperwork. We have not heard anything back. And I was just wondering, is that okay to maybe send some sort of email to Consular and just kind of humbly request if they can look at our case again, or is that not a good idea to do that?
You think they're not looking at your case right now?
I mean, I'm not sure. When last time when I sent an email, they said that we have received the paperwork and it's a pending officer review. So
yeah. If it's only been 2 weeks, I would just sit tight.
Okay. And all right. So one more thing, they only asked for the divorce decree from previous marriage. They did not check mark that administrative box. So do you think it will go to the administrative process?
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in my mind, administrative processing is whenever the visa has not been issued, and whether either the visa has not been issued or they've cited a specific reason why you can't come, a grounds of inadmissibility, a reason that you can't overcome, like being a human trafficker or something.
Okay. How long you think I should wait before I can touch base with them again?
Which embassy is it?
So it's Islamabad.
Yeah, I'd wait 6 months. They're slow.
Should. Okay. Damn. All right.
Thanks, Mike.
Cool. Thank you.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
All right. Here's a question. So I just typed in a message on the Slack channel, and I had to put 1125, not 1124. Do you guys have any good tricks on how to remember that we're not in 2024 anymore? Like sometimes I'll write a check in March. Well, not that I write checks anymore, but I used to write checks in March, or I'll put in my journal, I'll write down March 3rd, 2024, even though it's 2025. Isn't that the worst? Drives me crazy. All right. Dovane,
I'm
are
trying
you
to
there?
figure out what we should do
Dovane,
about whatever's going on with the thing.
Dovane, can you hear me?
Don't be trying to kiss me up because you didn't want to tell me Happy New Year. I'm glad you said.
They're having their own conversation over there. I don't know what's going on with that. Aniket, hello, Aniket.
Hey, hi Jim. Happy New Year to you and your family.
Of course. Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you for the kind wishes.
Thank you, Jim. So, Jim, I have got a couple of questions regarding my status. So, like, I got married to a lawful permanent resident, and we filed our I-130, 485, 765, and 131. So, out of all these 4 cases, only 485 is pending, and my wife recently became a U.S. citizen like a month ago. So, is there anything that we need to do to update USCIS regarding her change of immigration status?
Yeah, you got to send them a copy. Okay, so this is somewhat tricky to do and hard. I would hit it hard with everything that I got. So first thing I would do is I would send them a letter to wherever your 485 is pending, along with a copy of her naturalization certificate. Because even though it's the same agency, they don't know that N400 that they just approved and naturalized your wife is the same person who filed an I-130 and 485 for you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just didn't get, like, where should I mail the form? Like, which document should I mail? You just said the naturalization certificate, and what other thing did you say?
A cover letter with your receipt notice on your so on your 485 receipt notice, there'll be an address down in the bottom left-hand corner. That's where you want to send it. If you think did you have an interview on the I-130 or no?
No, we got our I-130 approved without the interview, and it was approved like a year ago.
Shit. Well, they were just waiting for your priority date to become current, but now she's a U.S. citizen, so then that doesn't matter. Okay, so I would notify them. I would also send a copy of it to your local field office, and literally, and you got to say, my wife just became a U.S. citizen, like in big bold letters. I am now an immediate relative. I am no longer in a preference category. You don't have to worry about when my priority date becomes current because I'm married to a U.S. citizen. Please finish my case, right?
Okay. All
So
right.
I would do that. And then I would also call USCIS every day until you get a live person and tell them that my wife is a U.S. citizen. I'm now an immediate relative. Hurry up and finish my case.
Yeah. So yes, Jim, I already contacted them. So once I contacted USCIS on their customer service thing, so they told me that you don't need to do anything from your side. Then I asked them, like, I have already uploaded the naturalization certificate as well as the legal name change on the I-485 online case
Good.
application thing. So they
Good.
told me that you don't have to do anything from your side. So I just told them, how would you get notified that my wife's immigration status has been
Good
changed?
question. Good question. They don't know. They don't know how.
Okay, and yeah, one more question regarding this thing. What if, like, my 485 doesn't get approved after all of these things until my EAD expires? Like, my EAD expires in September 2025. So should I apply for the renewal of that or not?
I give them 90 days from when you notified them that your wife was a U.S. citizen, and then I would sue them.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Jim. And I have just got one more question regarding my friend, if that's fine for you, if I can ask that.
Of course.
Yeah. So my friend just recently became a US citizen and he applied for a US passport, but he made a little typo in his social security number for the application. So is there anything that he can do to notify the passport agency?
I don't think so, but I don't think it's important.
So that shouldn't matter, right? Or
I mean, I don't do passport applications, so I don't know, but I don't know why they would care about one digit being wrong on the social security. They'll probably fix it themselves.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much, Jim, for answering my questions. Thank you so much. It means a lot.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Jim. Bye.
All right. So, Harab, I can't pull you up with your full name on there. You got to change your name to just your first name. Clement. Hello, Clement.
Hello, Jim.
How you doing?
How are you doing?
Great.
Right. Jim, please, I have a question. My question is, I married a U.S. citizen, and she filed for me more than a year, I think about 15 months ago. And everything is pending. And I lost my job a couple of months. So now I got a job at Arizona, and I'm living at New York. Can I go that place to work without changing my address?
Well, I was down with everything you said until the last part. So you got to tell them, the rule is you got to tell them that you moved within 10 days. So can we back up a little bit? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, before you got married,
I lost my job.
Yeah, I heard you.
A couple of months, about 8 months ago. Okay, and I got another job at Arizona, and I'm living at New York.
I heard.
Can I move that place to work without changing my address?
Okay. You have to tell them you change your address. When you move, you have 10 days to notify them. That's against the law to not tell them. It's also in your best interest to tell them. Why wouldn't you tell them that you moved?
Oh, I'm not going with my wife. I'll be coming back every 40 days time.
Why wouldn't you tell them that you have a different address?
Because I don't want to move from New York without changing my address, because my family is in New York.
But the rule is that the immigrant who moves has to tell the USCIS within 10 days that they moved. Why don't you want to tell them that you moved?
Because I'm not going to stay there for a long time, forever.
Okay, so let's play this out, okay? Are you ready, Clement?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Let's say you don't tell them that you're living in Arizona, okay? So you have sworn under oath that your address is in New York, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
One day USCIS says, hey, remember old Clement?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go check on him at his house.
Mm-hmm.
So they go to the house in New York, and your wife is there, and she's asleep. And they wake her up at 5:30 in the morning, and they go, hey, where in the hell's Clement? This is his address on his 45. Oh, he lives in Arizona now. He works in Arizona. Oh, well, he didn't tell us that. Do you know what that's called? That's called immigration fraud. That's how you lose your case. So
okay, that's why I'm calling you to get advice.
Right, I understand, and I'm trying to use you as an example to teach other people. So
All right.
It's in your best interest to tell them that you move. Now, I have a video on the YouTube channel that you can watch. And so the big question is, well, first of all, did you say your I-130 has been pending for like 16 months?
Yeah, 15 months.
Were you out of status at the time you got married?
Yeah.
So that means they're going to be extra special suspicious of you. That's number one on the fraud list, is whether the beneficiary was out of status. So that makes it even more likely that they're going to show up at your house in New York looking for you, right? So you need to be completely on board, up and up with them. You have to be completely honest with them.
Oh, okay.
So if you have a job in Arizona, then there's different things that we have to think about. Number one, is this a job that can only be done in Arizona? Like one time somebody said, Jim, I have to live in Kansas City. My wife's in Arkansas because of my job. And I said, well, what's your job? He goes, I'm an Uber driver. I'm like, dude, you can be an Uber driver anywhere. So is this a job that only takes place in Arizona, that you can't do a similar job in New York?
Okay, so Jim, if the case may be, if that's the case may be,
you didn't answer my question. What's the job? Is the job a job that you can do in New York just as easily as Arizona?
No, that job is a mining company.
Mining company?
Mining company.
Yeah. That's perfect. So that's number one. Then number two, you said something about going to see her every 40 days. Is that what you said?
Yes, please.
So you need to document every trip you come to see her or she comes to see you, right? You have to assume that someday, either at the USCIS office or at your house, when they knock on the door and wake up your wife, that you're going to have to prove to their satisfaction that you have a good reason to live in Arizona, that you come back regularly to see your spouse. And then the third one is, what's the long-term plan? You said this isn't going to be forever. So when is the plan that she's going to come live with you in Arizona, that you're going to quit that job eventually and come back to New York? So those are the three things. Why do you have a legit reason for going? Do you go back regularly to see each other? And do you have a long-term plan to be together? Those are the three most important things.
Okay. So if the case may be, then she is not going to go with me because we have grandchildren, and she's taking care of the grandchildren. So if I change the address, what about her?
She doesn't change her address.
It's going to be work. Maybe if they call us an interview, it's going to be work.
Again, I told you
different address.
I told you what the three things are. In order for it to work, you have to be worried about all those three things I just told you.
Okay.
All right.
Got you.
Good luck, Clement. See you, buddy.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
We've now slid into talking about boogers in the comments. It's 2025. What can I say? All right, let's go to Ron. Ron, are you there?
Hey, Jim. Happy New Year. Can you hear me?
I can. Happy New Year to you.
Just had a question. So my wife lives in the Dominican Republic. We got married June 3rd, 2024. It's been 5 months. I only have the receipt number. It obviously hasn't been approved yet. So something came up. I have to have an invasive surgery. They got to cut my stomach open, and it requires 6 weeks of a liquid diet.
Yikes.
Also, I have a business with my father and brother, and I was wondering if filing an expedited request for both of these situations go hand in hand. I will have a doctor's note and an employer's note, but my father, go ahead.
I would ditch the employment part they're going to say that's just your dad trying to help you out. I would focus on the medical, but all the time, they deny expedite requests just like yours. I hope your surgery goes well. I would not get my hopes up. I don't think they're going to expedite it. And even if they do, you still have to go through the National Visa Center. So I don't think there's anyone at USCIS is going to think that even if they grant your expedite request, that she's going to be there in time for your surgery. So I would say by all means try it, but I don't know how long you've watched this show, but we have people who are like dying of cancer and they want their spouse to get expedited and they won't do it. So hopefully everything works out, but I wouldn't get my hopes up.
Okay. Also, another question I have. So obviously, I mean, I live in Florida, and they're big far right wing nutcases. I was just wondering. I don't know her name. It's Luna something. She's the Congress of Florida. I don't even know if I should reach out to her because I feel like she's not a very good person to reach out to due to immigration situations.
Yeah,
what do you think about that?
I wouldn't worry about that so much. They all outsource this to like some low level intern anyway. But actually, I think this is one of the kinds of things that members of Congress can help with. So what I would do is make the expedite request, focus on the medical, and then like 5 days after you submit it, reach out to her office and see if they'll put in a good word for you, and then just see what happens.
So another question. I can plan this surgery to have enough time to kind of give them time to think about it. Would like 2 or 3 months be a good time before filing, like to show on the doctor's note, like when I schedule the surgery?
Yep.
Like 2 months, maybe 3 months.
I'd say 2.5, 3. Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, but you said don't do the employment thing. Don't file for that, for the financial loss, because I can prove it. I got documents. You know what I mean? I can show documentation for all that.
It's your family business. No one's going to believe that it's real. I just focus. The medical is much more compelling.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it, sir.
Good luck with the surgery, Ron.
Thank you.
See ya. All right. Today's show, episode 736, is sponsored by D's Nuts. Ha! Got him. Haven't heard D's Nuts on here for a while, so that always makes me happy. Yes, and even Nora is saying that that's what she said jokes. I hate to say it. I've taught her too well. Quick question. Hello.
Hi, Mr. Tio. How are you? Happy New Year to you and your family.
Happy New Year to you.
Just a quick question. When does your office reopen?
Mañana. Tomorrow.
Tomorrow? All right. I appreciate it. I'll reach out to Nicholas. Thank you so much.
All right. See ya. That was easy. All right. Abhirama. Hello, Abhirama. Oh, you were on here the other day. I remember your icon.
Oh, yes. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy New Year to you.
Yes. Last time I tried to talk, but the connection was broken.
Okay.
Look what happened. My wife is an American citizen. She applied for me on 2018, and we asked for a waiver 601A, but accidentally I came out from America. I exit America with her. So we tried to establish in Mexico, and my lawyer told me to wait to apply for the 601 in Mexico because 601A is in America. So I got my interview at the consulate in Juarez, and of course I didn't have the pardon. So after I have my interview, I submitted the new 601 waiver on November, and I found a website in the USCIS that says that expedite process. My wife is living in a shelter in America because when we crossed the border here, I lost my job in America. I was there for 25 years, 27 years. So I lost my job and everything. So we tried to establish in Mexico. We got scammed. We lost all our savings and everything. So she came back to America. She doesn't have any siblings or no family there. She's living in a shelter. The shelter is gonna end by March 23rd, 2025. do you think that will work for the expedite the 601, or is I'm just need to wait till 2028 to get back?
So you were living here in the United States. You had entered without inspection. You were married to a U.S. citizen, and your spouse filed an I-130 petition for you, and also filed an I-601A for you. Is that right?
Yes.
And did the 601A ever get adjudicated? Did it get approved?
No, because my lawyer canceled it, withdraw it when I went to Mexico, when I exit to Mexico.
Why did you go to Mexico?
Oh, I tried to bring my wife for a fertility clinic, and then she was about to cross the border walking to Tijuana, and then we just crossed the border without knowing. It was an exit that doesn't have any sign. So when we noticed, we were already in Mexico.
You didn't know that you'd have a 10-year bar if you left the United States, or you did know and you just
I did, but I never planned to cross back to Mexico.
So you went to Mexico by mistake, and now you have this 10-year bar.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Did you enter the United States without inspection one time or more than one time?
No. I actually entered in 1997 last time through a fiancé visa, but my father-in-law was against my wedding, so we didn't get married. So I stayed since 1997 in America, and then I met my wife on 2018, and then we got married. So she applied for me on 2018. 2019, the 130 was granted, and then we applied for the 601A. But
Because
then during
that.
uh-huh.
But you needed more than that, because if you come on a fiance visa, the only way you can adjust is through that fiance, and you didn't do that.
No, I understand that. I know. But then after that, I got married with her. The lawyer says everything will be fine. So he applied. He pulled all the paperwork. The mistake was crossing back to Mexico. Now I'm waiting for a waiver. My wife is in a shelter, and there is nowhere that she can go. And we have a son. Also, that is another thing. We have a son, and he has autism. It's a 2 years old, maybe 2.5. So she's bringing him to physical therapy and speech therapy. So it's pretty difficult for her to maintain a job. She was volunteering in the Salvation Army, and she got kicked out because our son was sick. And now she doesn't have, is unemployed again, or not volunteering anywhere. So the shelter program is going to end on March. So we apply. We talked to a agent, UCAS expedite process, and then they sent me a letter on the 20th. They said that I need to wait just for a few days for them to ask me for some paperwork or let me know if they're gonna expedite it or not. Do you think it will work?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
So why they open this kind of websites and they ask for submitting the paperwork, and they answer the phone and they said, yeah, we will check your case. Why they do that?
Because they want to give people hope when they don't really. I mean, they don't grant these things very often. I don't think they're. I mean, I'll say this. I think the chances of them approving your expedite request are under 3%.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you for the answer. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
I think you got some bad advice.
Yeah, the lawyer wait for my appointment on Ciudad Juarez. Then after I was denied, then he applied for the 601 again. So I don't know why he did that till that happened, not before.
Yeah.
Because I exit on 2000. I exit on 2021.
Good luck, my friend.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate your help.
Okay,
Happy New
bye-bye.
Year.
Yep,
Bye.
Happy New Year. Oh, man, that was a sad case. All right. Let's go to Shems. Hi, Shems.
Hey, Mr. Jim, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
All right, so I had a quick question for you, just based on so I am engaged in Afghanistan with, so I'm still trying to become a citizen, and my application is still pending. It says like 2 more months and before the interview.
Okay.
So the question I have for you is, um, I was thinking of bringing her over here under the spouse visa when I become a citizen.
Yep.
So the only problem I have is entering the country and getting married there.
Yeah.
So there is a way they can get the marriage certificate without me being there, but I'm not sure how the government here would accept it.
So that's called
Would
a
it be a
proxy.
problem?
That's called a proxy marriage, and I would strongly encourage you to go to Pakistan or somewhere else where it's safe for you to get married and do it that way than to do a proxy marriage, because
Okay.
the thing about a proxy marriage is the only way she'd ever get the visa is if sometime after the proxy marriage, you guys were together. So at some point you have to be with her, right?
Okay.
Because there's this, do you know the word consummate? Do you know that word consummate?
I don't.
Okay. So in order for a marriage to be valid for immigration purposes, it has to be consummated, which means you and your spouse have to have sex. And if you've never been in the same city, then they know the marriage hasn't been consummated. So the proxy marriage will only work if at some point after the proxy marriage, you meet face to face. And so if you have to meet face to face anyway, I would much rather you figure out a way to meet face to face and get married face to face to take away the argument that it's just a proxy marriage. Does that make sense?
That does. Okay, so yeah, that's what I was trying to like figure out. Like they could get the marriage certificate, but I was like, I don't know how the government here will react to it. They might just say like this is falsely, or like I don't know.
And you know,
Thanks for
they think a lot of documents from Afghanistan are fake anyway. So don't give them anything to give you. They're just going to hit you over the head with it later. It's better. You can get married before you become a citizen. But you got to get married. You got to get married face to face, I think.
Okay, perfect. Thanks so much.
See you, buddy. All right, that was Shams. Let's go to Amy. Amy, hello. You're on mute.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. Go right ahead.
Oh, perfect. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. My husband on the 30th of December received, we noticed online that his I-601A was approved. He's a citizen of El Salvador.
601 or 601A? I'm sorry, the mic is shorting out.
601A.
Okay, great.
And so he's a citizen of El Salvador, and I'm a U.S. citizen. He previously filed for asylum, and his asylum case has been administratively closed. And so I'm receiving conflicting information about whether we need to go approach the court again and ask them to terminate or dismiss his case before we can do consular processing. I've been told that if we go to an embassy and his case is administratively closed, that could prohibit him from getting a visa to return.
That's what we tell. That's the same thing we tell people.
That we need to close the case or terminate it?
Yep.
Okay, because we did the 601A ourselves. We didn't have an attorney do that. So we need to go back to the attorney who closed his case and ask them to get it terminated?
Reopened and terminated. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I also read somewhere that he could reopen and request voluntary departure. Would it be better to have it dismissed or terminated?
Much.
Okay. And any idea of like the time frame? Because now it seems like we can continue with the DS-260 and the consular processing, but I'm wondering how long it might take for them to reopen and terminate his case.
Well, that's the sad part, is it's very, very slow. The hardest part is getting them to pay attention to the request at all because they're so swamped.
Okay.
They're saying, I don't believe them, that they're doing them in 6 months, but that isn't what we have seen. We've seen longer. And really it's a matter of like getting your lawyer, if they do a lot of deportation, to just talk to ICE counsel and see if they'll do it like when they're there on some other case. It's just really hard to get them to pay attention. And then, you know, January 20th, everything is going to change anyway. So it's going to be tough.
Okay. Well, I'm glad. Thank you for clearing it up, because I was being told that we could just go ahead and do the consular processing, but of course we don't want to end up with problems in El Salvador.
I'd be very worried about that.
Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Good luck. Yep, for sure. All right. Let's go to Tobago 41. Hello, Tobago.
Hello. Hi, Jerry. Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Thank you. I have two quick questions for you. One, I'm a U.S. citizen filing for my husband in Trinidad and Tobago. He was married before and they were living at a particular address. Now, in Trinidad and Tobago, they have what you call squatters that you could just go, some people could just go and build on government land, but they don't have an address. So when I pulled out the paper, because he wasn't regularized, which means he didn't have a deed of comfort to live on the land, there was no address to put. So I just left it as his mother's address. I don't know if that's going to be a problem when he has an interview coming up in February. But they has an address there now. But at the time when he lived there, there was no address to put because legally there was no address. Is that going to be a problem?
Is this case still at USCIS or is it at the National Visa Center?
It's at the embassy.
Oh, his case is at the embassy now.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole time you've used his mom's address?
Yes, because at the time when he and his ex-wife lived at that address, they did not. It's like, it's kind of like you build on a piece of land. The government you didn't have anything to put, because you really wasn't supposed. It's not legal, but people do it in my country all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm more worried about this ex-wife you just mentioned. What's the deal with that?
Oh, they broke up years ago. He's been divorced a long time now. We have a 10-year-old daughter together, so it's not. You know what I mean?
And she's not using that address anymore?
I think since she moved there, I believe she still lives there. It's been regularized, but at the time when he lived there, it was not.
Where does he live now?
He is back at his mom's. When they separated, he moved back at his mom's house.
So his case is at the embassy. They think he's at mom's house, and that's in fact where he is?
Yes. Okay, here's what. You know how you put, they ask you if you've ever lived anywhere else beside the address I put. Yeah. He technically did, but I didn't have an address to put because when he lived there was no address.
So as far as address, missing address, I don't really care. What I'm worried about is they're going to think you were trying to hide the real address that he lived at with his ex-wife. That's what I'm worried about.
Right, because because it's in the embassy. If you live in Trinidad and Tobago, you know about squatting. You know that they don't have an address. There's no, until they get regularized, there is no address that they could put.
So he's going to have to explain that to them at the interview and hope that they don't think he's got something going with his ex-wife.
Right. No, they've been divorced. We have the divorce papers. We send it out. And I have one more question because I said two. The second question is, I did all the paperwork and I filled out a 260 form. But then they send me something else and I fill out an I-160. And I'm confused if I'm supposed to do both.
He's your spouse and you're a U.S. citizen?
He is I'm a U.S. citizen. He's never been to the U.S.
Right, but you're married. He's not a fiance, right?
No, we're married. We got married 3 years ago, December 24th, 2021.
So there should be no DS-160.
Oh, because I was wondering, they send me the paperwork for that, and they send you things to fill out to register the number to register online. That's what when I put in all the information, the DS-160 came up. I did a 260, I did a 160, and then I started thinking this is confusing because when they read what category visa to put, I'm like, there is no category for me. What am I doing here? Because I'm not filing for him as a fiance. I'm filing for him as my husband, migrating to the United States.
Yep. So just a DS-260.
Also, just ignore the 160. Just go by what the 260 says.
Good luck, and change that battery in your smoke alarm. Okay. See ya. All right. Let's go to All Star. Hello, All Star. All Star's out of here. Let's go to Shan. Shan, are you there?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing? So I have a question. What's going on is like I have to apply in February next year for my removal of green condition from my green card. And
Sure.
yeah, so I was trying to see if I will have a couple of questions like if for suppose uh um what are the necessary things that are most important to have? And the second question is like, what are the if it denies, what are the chances of, you know, what to do? Like as a lawyer, what you suggest? Like if it denies, what we can do, getting your help, like how?
Why are you worried that it might get denied?
I'm worried because my wife, she's always like, trying to threaten me with a lot of things. So
So
yeah.
that's when you ask me what's the most important thing, that is the first question I always ask people is how is the marriage?
Yeah, so the marriage is good, but I'm not saying like I have something like we have something, but it's like all the time, I don't know she have this problem or what from her previous marriage or
What do you mean
whatever
problem?
is.
What kind of problem?
Like she always, want to give hard time. She want to get a house. Well, I cannot make that much money. I told her to save. She don't save. She spend the money, and then I work a lot. So she just likes spending. It's another part. Like I can make money. She can spend it. It's okay. But there's a lot of things like she go to work. She upgraded her job. She got promotion. I got feeling she a lot of changing in her, so kind of
Okay. So thank you for the call. I get calls like this a lot when people are sort of close to the 751 stage. And what I always come back to is, do you feel comfortable going to bat with this person on your team? In other words, if you file the I-751 together, that case is going to be pending for 2 years or more, which means not only will at that point the marriage will be 4 years old, and if USCIS calls you and your spouse in for an interview, do you trust them to go the distance? Do you trust them to fight for your marriage? Do you trust them to fight for your 10-year green card? Right. And so um, sometimes you have to accelerate your thinking. You have to think way down the road. And if she's giving you grief now about sponsorship or about the 751, then I'd be worried about the long-term future of the relationship. You can get your conditions removed without your spouse. It's harder, but it is possible. So I don't want you to think you have to stay in the marriage just to get the 10-year green card. It's obviously easier if everything's good with the marriage, but if I were an immigrant and I were in a position where my spouse was constantly harping on me about my immigration status and saying, I don't know if I'm going to go through with your 751 and all that stuff, I would think long and hard about, yeah, this is a good topic, Hina. Can you text me on that? I would think long and hard on whether I want to do this by myself, because you can.
so but like I mean we talk, then everything settled down and then we good, but then suddenly like in couple of months she acting like the same thing again. I got a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression and stuff I'm going through. I swear, like I'm not a baby, but I cry
Yeah.
like a baby, and
So
sometimes
I
I'm
can tell.
ashamed of myself. I'm ashamed of myself, like what I'm going through. I didn't marry this lady for this. And I like, I take care of everything. I pay everything. I don't, it's not about the money, but I don't know. All the birthdays, I am there to give, I'm there to celebrate, to make her happy. The kids, she had two kids from the previous marriage. I take care of them. I pay everything for them. I love them, Jim. I can't be without them. When they are at their grandpa house, I just can't stay in the home. Like I just want them to be at the home. So I don't want to break my marriage. Like I have a lot of memories with them. I can't take it. I can't take it. Like, at the point, I can't decide and sit with her and tell her, you know what, you doing this all the time. Let's end it up. It's not coming out of my mouth. So I'm just, worried about it. Like, what should I do?
Have you guys talked to a therapist, like done any counseling together?
I told her before that, and she said, "You want to go, you can go, but I don't want to go."
Well, okay. So I would take that invitation, and I think I think in the position you're in, I mean, I can hear how sad you are right now. So I would say there's value in you going to a therapist without her, right?
Yeah,
So
if I mean that's what I'm looking for. Like, I go to the people gym, I sit with them. They don't have 5 minutes for me. I feel so lonely because when I go home, there's always something, and so I drive. So I take with it to the retired people to their appointments, and so how hard it is for me to drive. I can't work. I can't do nothing. And I was a PhD guy. And I paused my study to support this family because I wanted to have a family with her, and she agreed on it. And I paused my studies for that. You know, it's my future. Like, I was doing all my life working for that. And I don't know, but if you suggest me as a lawyer, as I have an appointment with you guys, already I called today and they says that they're gonna call me back
yeah,
because they're closed today. But
yeah,
if you suggest me that the therapist is gonna help me mentally, the most importantly, mentally, he can help me. Plus, he can this can help in my case. I would
yep.
most definitely go to one. I need it. I don't have parents, Jim. I don't nobody here. I'm just dying here. I feel like why I'm here even.
I'm very
I'm sorry.
sorry.
I'm
It's
very
okay.
sorry.
It's totally okay. I've been in therapy most of my adult life. I'm not right now. I'm taking a little break, but I think therapy is very, very helpful for lots of different reasons. But I can hear how sad you are, and it seems like your spouse isn't very caring about it at the moment. So I would focus on I would the way I view it is I would be contracting. I would be relying on myself. I would be trying to find a therapist who's going to be my ally and look out for me and be there to listen to me and support me to help me make whatever decision. Maybe you decide to stay, maybe you decide to go. Right now, it feels like you're in a little bit of a trap. And my best friend growing up, his dad was a psychiatrist, and he said the one place that's really hard for people is when they feel like they're in a box and they can't get out. And so what we need to do, Sean, is to find you some wiggle room. And I think a therapy and a little time away would be really helpful.
Yeah, I'll most definitely do it. I'm not working. I used to make a lot of money and I don't have no saving because all my money goes with the family. And my parents grow me up so they can rely on me when they get older. And I just paused my PhD and I fall in love and got married and I'm to a point where I can't even tell nobody, not even the immigration, that hey, listen, I'm sorry, I'm very sorry, I just made
Don't be
it.
sorry. Don't be sorry. And if you email that info at Hacking Immigration Law tonight, I'll check that in the morning. And I'll follow up with you myself. Okay. Don't be sad.
Uh,
Don't apologize at all. I mean, you can be sad. Don't feel like you have to apologize to me or anybody else. You're doing fine. And
y-
thank you for trusting me at least to tell me. I appreciate it.
yeah, and I will most definitely. I called them, and the receptionist, she told me that they're gonna call me back. And there's a lot of things like if I can have some time with you and tell you, it's
Yep.
not something you can't tell on the YouTube things. There's a
Yeah.
lot of things. There's a lot of things, and I keep ignoring because I didn't want to break this family. I'm
Yeah.
going through a lot.
Send that email tonight and I'll find you tomorrow and we'll go from there. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. So, what's the email?
Info at hackingimmigrationlaw.com. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. Info at hackingimmigrationlaw.com. if you have a chance when you're done, that you're going to be the last caller of the day. Look at the comments because a lot of people are trying to support you. Okay.
Thank you so much. I really
You're
appreciate you guys. Thank you.
you're a good person.
Thank you.
All right. Very sad. All the best to Sean. Hopefully, you know what they say, the first step in fixing a problem is admitting you have one. So I hope Sean gets some help, and we'll try to do everything we can on our end to help. Good luck, Sean. And we'll be back maybe tomorrow, maybe not. Nora and I are probably running around the Big Apple tomorrow, so probably no show tomorrow, and maybe not Friday, but this weekend I'll do shows. So Happy New Year to you all. I hope 2025 brings Sean and everybody else all the best. And it's going to be an interesting year, to say the least. Peace, love, be kind to each other. Bye, guys.
I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of need.